Today we are going to see about the topic hypothesis. According to Carter V. Good, a hypothesis is a shrewd guess or inference that is formulated and provisionally adapted to explain observed facts or conditions and to guide in further investigations. Next, we'll see about the characteristics of a good hypothesis. A good hypothesis is reasonable, that is, logically consistent. A good hypothesis is in agreement with observed facts and established laws. It should be verifiable and testable. A good hypothesis is stated with unambiguous terms as possible. It should be comprehensive enough to accommodate all observed facts. It should be related to the theory. It should be stated in simple and to the point. It should be related to the available technique. It should be empirically testable. It should be specific, and it should be framed conceptually clear. Next, we'll see about the importance of hypothesis. It provides direction to the researcher. It sensitizes the researcher to certain aspects of the situation which are relevant from the standpoint of the problem at hand. It focuses research. It helps to design our tools for data collection and select the appropriate statistical techniques. It places specific goals before us. It serves as a framework for drawing conclusions. It provides the platform for known facts from which we try to peep into the unknown. It serves the function of linking together related facts and information and organizing them into one compressible whole. Next, we'll see about the sources of hypothesis. They are general culture, scientific theory, personal experience, analogies, using the review of related literature as the background to formulate the hypothesis. With the help of all these sources, we can frame the. Next, we'll see about the types of hypothesis. Hypothesis is divided into three types: research hypothesis or directional, null hypothesis, and question form hypothesis. Research hypothesis is again further divided into three types. The first one is attributive or descriptive, the second one is associative, the third one is causal or explanatory. Associative hypothesis is further divided into correlational form and difference form. Difference form is again divided into directional and non-directional. Next, we will see about the research hypothesis. A research hypothesis is usually stated in declarative form, postulating the attributes of a phenomenon. So it is also called as attributive hypothesis. The hypothesis which explains the relationship between two variables is called as associative hypothesis. The hypothesis which explains the cause and effect relationship among the variables is called as causal hypothesis. Next, we'll see about the attributive hypothesis or descriptive hypothesis. It is stated in the simple statement and it states the existence, size, form or distribution of some variables. The examples for descriptive hypothesis are: there is no living organism in the moon. There is dropout of students in high schools. These hypotheses are simply in the form of statement. Next we'll see about the associative hypothesis. Hypothesis that talks about relationship between variables are known as associative hypothesis. The relationship may be expressed in two forms. The one is association or correlation form. The second one is difference form. The examples for association or correlation form is IQ and achievement are positively related. The examples for difference form is girls achieve better than boys in verbal ability test. Next we'll see about the causal hypothesis or explanatory hypothesis. These are relational propositions which strongly imply or state the existence of or a change in one variable causes or leads to an effect on another variable. The first is typically called the independent variable. The later is the dependent variable. Examples for explanatory hypothesis are reducing class size increases the student achievement. Silent reading increases reading scores. Next we'll see about the null hypothesis. A non-directional hypothesis which states that no significant difference or no relationship exists is called as null hypothesis. It is usually stated in the negative form. The example for null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between intelligence and academic achievement. Next we'll see about the question form hypothesis. Whenever we are not sure of the relationship existing between the variables, we usually resort to frame our hypothesis in the null form. It is more popular hypothesis. Otherwise, we pose the hypothesis in the form of a question. That is called as question form hypothesis. The example for question form hypothesis are: does intelligence affect academic achievement? Next, we'll see the difficulties in the formulation of hypothesis. If the researcher lacks in the knowledge and the clarity of the theoretical framework, then he will find difficult in framing the hypothesis. Lack of ability to make use of the theoretical framework logically also leads to difficulty in framing the hypothesis. Lack of acquaintance with the available research technique results in failure to be able to phrase the hypothesis properly. Vagueness of the statement also leads to difficulty in framing the hypothesis. Next, we'll have a quick recap. We have seen today definition of hypothesis, characteristic of a good hypothesis, importance of hypothesis, sources of hypothesis, types of hypothesis, and difficulties in the formulation of hypothesis.